Hello YouTube, my name is Ryan, it's RMFL. Big comic fan, and just thought I'd start making some videos and kind of share ideas about comic collecting and stories of comics, and if you like anything, post on the bottom and discussion and share videos, things like that. So my favorite character is Daredevil. It's kind of a misunderstood character, and I've liked him pretty much since I got into comics about 5 or 6 years ago. And brief history of the character. First appearance, Daredevil #1 from 1964. Basically, his name is Matt Murdock. He was a young child in New York in Hell's Kitchen, and his father was battling Jack Murdock, who was a prize fighter and also worked with the mob as a strong guy, beating up dudes who didn't pay. As far as his abilities, he helped a blind guy who was about to get hit by a truck full of radioactive waste. That he knocked him out of the way and he saved his life, but obviously the radioactive waste got in his face, he blinded him, but it also made all of his other senses extremely acute and superhuman. Hearing, smell, taste, things like that. So that, plus he was his father, Jack Murdock, was supposed to lose a fight, and he decided not to because Matt was in the audience, and he got killed for it by the mob. That kind of fueled Matt to become a lawyer, and so he's a lawyer / crime fighter as Daredevil. Once again, this was created in 1964. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Bill Everett created the character, and kind of the beginnings of Daredevil was really strange because he never had that many good villains in the beginning. Spider-Man has a trillion villains, Batman has a trillion villains. This guy really, he doesn't get a lot of villains pretty much until like 20 years later, 20 to 30 years later. He did have some really cool stories where he actually got with the Black Widow, and they actually changed the title for a while called Daredevil and Black Widow, in which they moved to San Francisco for a while. They broke up, he came back to New York, and go from there. Then it got really cool with the introduction of modern characters that probably a lot of you know, mainly due to the fact that Elektra and Bullseye and Kingpin, but this pretty much all started with Frank Miller. Frank Miller is more famous now for what did he do? Sin City, 300. Batman did a lot of great Batman stories, but he really got fame in Marvel with the introduction of his character Elektra, which is really funny because they actually spelled her name wrong in the beginning. I guess they changed it after she came out, but whatever. So really cool characters started coming around the late 70s, early 80s. Elektra, kind of fleshing out more of the story of Daredevil, of the people around him, because usually characters are only as good as their surroundings. One of my favorite villains, Bullseye. This is his first appearance. This is in 1976. Came out a couple years before Elektra did. He's an assassin. He's awesome. We'll probably have another completely different video about Bullseye because he's awesome. But yeah, Bullseye. As far as the Frank Miller stories were amazing, where they made kind of grounded him. I usually like the characters who are more street smart or down to earth. Not everybody can be Superman. I prefer Luke Cage or Daredevil, Black Panther. The series where Black Panther actually takes over for Daredevil in New York City is really good. Short-lived, but really good. So the next thing is another huge milestone. Now that they kind of made all these characters and they kind of fleshed out the story of who Daredevil is, grounded and made it a little bit more darker, introduced more interesting characters. They made Elektra and Bullseye over some of the 60s villains like Stiltman and Gladiator. This was a huge moment in comic book history. This essentially was the death of Elektra, and I'm sure a lot of people know, it was replicated in the Daredevil movie that came out. I really hope Marvel makes their own version of Daredevil. But anyway, Bullseye and Elektra have this fight in this book, and Bullseye kills Elektra with her own sign through the stomach, out the back. Really good story. It's a landmark story because at the end of it, usually heroes did whatever they could. They would save the bad guy, whatever. Well, there's a scene where after he kills Elektra, Bullseye's hanging from a wire, and Daredevil, with every chance in the world to save him, does not. He falls, shatters his spine, and it was one of those things where a hero became human. Like, it's more of it's something that we probably would do as a society. So that was a really big turning point, not only in comics, but it kind of lured me to the character as well once I got to know more about him. But when I first got into comics, there was a huge trend going on at the time, and his name is Brian Michael Bendis. Now he's huge and he's awesome. But he took over for Daredevil, and his 5-year run with Alex Maleev as the artist is easily the best comic books, especially Marvel comic books, that have come out ever. If you ever have a chance to read this, read it. It's amazing. It completely fleshes out the different characters, the interaction, even the interaction with him in the Marvel Universe, other people in the Marvel Universe. It's amazing. This is what initially got me into Daredevil, and then I started reading more about it and collecting things like that. But that's really good as well. So that's just a brief story of Daredevil, and also why I like him. Any comments, questions, or anything in that post? I'm actually going to show you guys around different things that I collect regarding Daredevil. I kind of collect everything Marvel, comics related, mainly Daredevil, figures, original artwork that I get from cons, comics. I'm about 60 issues short of having the entire run since 1964. Me and my wife, we go to different conventions, get artwork, get figures, anything with Daredevil. If there's a rock on the ground that someone wrote DD on it, I will pay for it. So enjoy the tour, and if you like the video, then there'll be more coming. Appreciate it.